Tonight, city leaders take a stand over stadium funding. A rates bill shock for Coolum residents. Emergency crews on a crash course at the airport. And the stork that staked his claim on a home.
Live from the Sunshine Coast, this is 7 News with Rob Brough.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. Residents are being told to flood social media in the campaign to secure the final $20 million needed to upgrade Sunshine Coast Stadium. Business leaders have taken aim at the federal government, saying it's taking our region for granted.
Take a look inside what could be and what some fear is slowly slipping away. The proposed stadium expansion would seat more than 16,000 people.
I see the stadium that was just shown there. To me, that's the house of dreams. I get a tingle thinking about it.
Queensland Origin legend and Mooloolaba restaurant owner Billy Moore joined Alex Surf Club's Ashley Robinson in an urgent call to action.
It's not about rugby league and it's not about soccer and not about AFL or rugby union. It's about the community. And imagine the amount of events you could have on here.
The state government has committed $20 million, council $17 million, and 2 local philanthropists have chipped in $11 million. The federal government has so far denied the final 20.
Andrew Wallace is saying he's beating the drum. Well, Andrew Wallace needs to beat it a lot harder.
The member for Fisher says the feds have just spent $250 billion keeping the country afloat during COVID.
Of which the Alex Surf Club has been a great beneficiary of JobKeeper.
Mr Wallace has been told the money will not be in the May 11 budget.
My next goal is to get it as a federal election campaign commitment.
But that might be too late. The philanthropists say their contribution won't be on the table much longer.
Being a former rugby league player, not that brainy, but I imagine 20 million is a lot easier to find than 31.
Our federal members often say they're the Sunshine Coast representatives in Canberra. Well, here's their chance.
Sophie Tetzlaff, 7 News.
The partner of a man accused of stabbing his brother to death sobbed today while giving evidence in court. Gregory Robbins had travelled from Perth here to the coast for his brother Bernard's wedding, but family celebrations ended in tragedy.
Bernard Robbins is accused of stabbing his brother 7 times during a pre-wedding family get-together in June 2019. Today, Bernard's fiancée Sally Doring broke down giving evidence in the Brisbane Supreme Court. She said the celebration drinks became tense when Bernard mentioned Greg's strained relationship with his daughter Hayley. She said, "I was holding the screen door closed to stop him coming out. I was upset by the argument and I wanted to try and stop it. I was saying something to the effect of, if this is how you're going to behave, then I'm not going to marry you on Saturday." Gregory's partner Karen Vanden Dryzen was also emotional, recounting the confrontation, saying, "That's when his mood really changed and he looked like a man possessed. Greg went towards him and a scuffle broke out. They were sort of rolling around on the floor, punching. The knives ended up being under the massage table." Bernard Robbins has pleaded not guilty to his brother's murder. The trial continues tomorrow. Simon Nichols, 7 News.
Coolum residents will be slugged an extra $115 on their annual rates bill to pay for staffing at the Coolum fire station. The state government says the levy brings the suburb into line with others with the same resources.
From the outside, the Coolum fire station hasn't changed much over the years, but inside it's growing. Instead of just auxiliary staff, it's now manned by 5 permanent staff, but that comes at a cost.
Welcome the new resources, but our community without any consultation should not be charged for this service.
The station has been reclassified from a D to an A. The emergency management levy charged will increase from $110.60 to $226.
It's confused a lot of people, and I think there should have been a bit of consultation prior to that so people knew it was happening.
Residents received a letter this week. The state government charge will be collected by council.
It's got to be funded somehow. I guess a levy through the state government, which they'll probably get via their Sunshine Coast Council rates notice, is one way of doing that.
But locals say Coolum firefighters serve a much wider region, so it's not fair that just Coolum residents will foot the bill.
You've got Pridgeon Springs, which is a suburb nearby. You've also got Mount Coolum, Marcoola, all that.
It's a bit rich that locals are being punished with a new tax by the state government for a service they weren't consulted on.
The levy increase will begin in July. Katie Toney, 7 News.
A new program has been launched here on the Sunshine Coast to accelerate technology startups that address global health issues. Ready Room is just one example. It's a mobile hospital room which can isolate infectious patients.
Imagine our patient's still lying in the bed here. Now he's going to bring the Ready Room over the top of the patient and form that space.
The Sunram Health Tech program is taking applications for entrepreneurs to join a 12-week program backed by council and the state government. Police and firefighters swarmed the Sunshine Coast Airport this morning, but there was no cause for alarm. Our emergency crews were responding to a simulated plane crash to ensure they're ready should the real thing happen.
In this scenario, some imagination was required. Crews pretended the bus was a plane. It had overshot the runway with 12 passengers on board.
And they've had to be extracted, and we've got issues with fuel, passengers, injuries and that sort of thing.
More than 50 people were on scene. Police and firefighters starred as themselves. The pilot, flight crew and passengers were played by volunteers, and it was hard for them to break character.
Oh, scary. It was really, we didn't know what was happening. It was awful.
The experience provided a unique insight into how emergencies are handled.
Find out what exactly happens.
And what we do in a case of an emergency when we've been flying.
Thankfully, these situations are rare.
Fortunately, here at Sunshine Coast, we have an excellent safety record, so it's very unusual. We've not had to respond to anything as dramatic as this, but that's why these exercises are really important, to allow us to practice.
We don't get told what the situation we're going into, because that doesn't happen in real life. So the response from us has to be appropriate to whatever we get confronted with.
Jessica Ross, 7 News.
Well, I know we have a housing crisis at the moment, but this is a bit of a stretch. A couple on a homestead up north have welcomed an unexpected house guest who won't leave. Fred comes and goes like most teenagers, except he's a big black-necked stork.
He's no average housemate.
We do pinch ourselves and go, this is kind of crazy.
But Fred the Jabberoo likes to think he rules the roost.
No, Fred. He says good morning to us and todders around the place, and then he disappears during the day, and then he comes back to say hi in the afternoon and wanders in while we're getting dinner in the kitchen, and then he toddles off again at night for his roost.
Fred was found injured last August and nursed back to health before being set free at the Piccaninny Plains Wildlife Sanctuary in October. But if the couple thought they'd be empty nesters, they were wrong.
He followed me home. And that was kind of the beginning of the story of Fred and us.
And he's stalked them ever since.
Fred is so vocal. He has an incredible song that he greets us with every morning when he arrives at the house.
Now they're sort of stuck on the stalk.
We're going to be very sad when he goes, but hopefully he will stay around Piccaninny Plains and we'll be able to watch him grow up.
Matthew Carstunen, 7 News.
And Fred's not the only one who has a song. After the break, a local politician records a song in honour of Anzac Day. And a community garden comes to life.
I love coffee. I drink 14 cups per day.
Welcome to my new house, Carlos.
Really desperate for a coffee.
Is there anything you wouldn't do for a coffee? Think you know my game? Think again.
We need to get that coffee.
I am Big Brother, and I'll see you Monday, 7:30.
A 350-yard bomb. And I just smashed her favorite at the next race in Melbourne.
If your horse doesn't win but runs second, third or even fourth, get your money back in bonus up to $50. PointsBet, it's shacking easy.
Now at Harvey Norman, it's all about you, Mum. Save $100 on a Fitbit Versa 2 fitness watch. She'll love the beautiful Celine linen blend quilt cover set and matching accessories. Improve her circulation with a Revitive cordless circulation booster. Or treat her to easy hair removal using the Braun Silk Expert Pro 5 IPL. Add music and more to her day with the Sonos Move smart speaker. Make baking fun with the Kenwood Chef Sense XL Titanium with bonus baking set. Something for every mum. Now at Harvey Norman.
At Apia, when you combine your new eligible home insurance with your car insurance, you'll save 20% on your second policy. Call 13 50 50 for a quote today.
Sunstate Glass, the Sunshine Coast Glass Company. Brighten your home with stylish colourback glass splashbacks, shower screens, mirrors, glass pool fencing and balustrades. 24 hours a day, Sunshine Coast wide for all your emergency glass repairs. Sunstate Glass, the Sunshine Coast Glass Company.
You remember I'm picking Bex up from school, right?
The JCR's due Friday, so which font should we use?
Are you going to video chat this weekend? Your dad and I'd love to see the kid.
He's in.
So can we go outside? We could go to this place
Whatever your claim, big or small, we're on to it. Yui, you insured.
Sunshine Coast turns to 7 News to keep up to date on local issues, and we want you to be part of it. If there's something happening in your street, your suburb, we want to know about it. Send us a message or drop us an email.
Yeah, thanks very much for being involved, and nice having you with us here on 7. A 27-year-old man will remain behind bars, accused of trying to murder a Peachester woman in Caboolture. Harley Warren mobs allegedly tried to run over the 47-year-old woman with a Nissan Patrol on Saturday night. She suffered serious injuries to her leg and foot and is now at Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital recovering from 2 surgeries. Today in court, Mobs withdrew his bail application and the case was adjourned until June. The Maroochydore MP has swapped Parliament House for a recording studio. Fiona Simpson often sings the Australian anthem at local ceremonies. Now she's taken her patriotic pride a step further, co-writing and releasing Lest We Forget. Miss Simpson has described the song as a song from the heart. She's giving away a limited number of CDs at her office, and the song will also be available through music streaming services. Passionate green thumbs have been digging deep, breathing new life into a Boccarina community garden. They're on a mission to rejuvenate the site so our elderly coast garden lovers can reconnect after the COVID shutdown.
There's plotting underway off Lake Kawana. East Bank edible garden plotting.
And obviously, due to COVID, it's not quite what it needs to be. It's been neglected of sorts.
Aged care not-for-profit B, formerly known as Comlink, took over the community site in January. Its aim is to restore the garden so elderly clientele can come down, plant and have a chin wag. You could call it a soul patch.
The community garden provides a great outlet where we can actually enable people to be active, but also to reduce the effects of social isolation and create a place where people connect.
These allotments will soon be sown with fruit and veggies, including bananas, pawpaws, passion fruit, lemons, limes and ginger. And it's been a joint effort to rejuvenate and nurture the foundation. Kawana Shopping World donated more than $8,000 worth of stock, labour and love. Bunnings and JJ Richards chipped in as well.
So they'll get an opportunity to come in here and get a bit of garden therapy, those that have maybe been living in areas that don't have their own gardens.
B's clients will come along for the first official community day next Thursday. Simon Nichols, 7 News.
Yeah, well done to everyone involved. Yamundi Brewery is putting the call out for weird and wonderful flavour combinations for its seasonal beer range. The challenge is to create a beer inspired by Yamundi and the Sunshine Coast. Entrants must be over the age of 18, and all you have to do is come up with a suggestion. The brewers will take care of the rest. You can submit your ideas at the Yamundi Brewery website, and a shortlist will go to a public vote. To get the creative juices flowing, the winner gets $5,000 and a free case of beer every month for a year.
Excuse me? Free case of beer. That's my homework tonight. Very good.
The Falcons, gee, their forward stocks might get a bit of a boost,
Yeah, it's sounding like it. Rob, a former New Zealand Warrior, is in line to play in the Sunny Coast Anzac clash up in Townsville. We'll have more on that next. And we cross live to Maroochydore and the Aussies as our Nutrigrain Series champ battles through a virus to qualify for the Iron Woman final.
Some people will do anything to avoid alarming the police. And then there's these guys.
Is there anything in the car that shouldn't be there?
Yeah, there's a... Who will the coppers throw the book at? Highway Patrol, tonight on 7.
Create your space with Freedom's Autumn Sofa event. Get up to 25% off selected sofas, up to 25% off selected furniture, and 50 months interest-free store-wide. It's happening now, only at Freedom.
Oh, look, we're old school. We're old school. We didn't do digital marketing. Now with the younger generation coming through and building the business for my family, we need digital marketing. With Local Search, they helped me, they guide me through the transition. We've gone from 1 vehicle to 18 vehicles on the road. They made life easy for us.
At Coles, there's hundreds of prices down and counting, so you can lower the cost of your weekly shop. The price of breakfast is down, with Coles Toasted Original Style Muesli down to $3.10. Coles, value the Australian way.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
For Can-Am, it's Sunstate.
When the work gets tough, the tough go to Sunstate Can-Am. Tough quads and versatile side-by-sides. Rigged to work, built to last. Ask about our farmer rebates.
It's Sunstate for the ride of your life.
Let's not just say how exciting racing is, let's show it.
View a real-time live stream of incoming bets.
Like the stock market, anything interesting.
So all you have to do is jump on the app and you can watch where the money moves and get the inside word on the big bets.
Yep, so you never miss any of the action. Or just head to any individual race or sporting event and get the inside word on who the other punters are backing.
That was some fine Ladbroke in there. Let it go. Wipe her down, will you?
Our 2021 Grand Finalists.
Winning would be even sweeter because I get to share it with my family.
It's been just such a lovely journey.
It's all or nothing.
To win this, that would be the greatest thing ever.
Brilliant!
Don't miss the spectacular Dancing with the Stars All-Stars Grand Finale. Sunday, 7 o'clock on 7.
Welcome back to 7 News. The field is set for Saturday's Ironman and Iron Woman finals at the Australian Surf Lifesaving Titles. Nutrigrain Series champ Lana Rogers has qualified. The Alex Heads champion remains one of the favourites despite battling a virus.
She's the two-time reigning Nutrigrain Series champ, but Lana Rogers almost didn't make yesterday's Iron Woman heats due to illness. Today, she was looking sharp in the semis.
I came back a bit fresher today, and I know I just had to make it through to Saturday, and, you know, I did that job. It's just starting to process Saturday and what we're going to do from there.
Joining the former Aussie champ in Saturday's final are Noosa's Electra Outram and Maroochydores Tiani Massey.
It's just pure excitement, and yeah, I'm just so stoked. Thinking back a year ago, I never thought I'd be where I am today.
Lana was also in action for Alex today in the women's board relay final, where Southport took gold. Surfers Paradise was second, with veteran Courtney Hancock competing at her first Aussies since switching from Northcliffe.
Whatever club cap you have on, I think, always trying to race as best I can for that club and to really make them proud.
There was drama in the Open men's with a 5-way sprint to the finish line.
Zach Morris is going to get home for Newport to win the Aussies board relay final.
Maroochydore were the runners-up in the under-19 women's.
Like growing up on this beach, and we have home beach advantage, and we just had to use our brains with how we know our surf.
The 16 spots have been decided for Super Saturday's Ironman final, with Alexandra Headland's Cooper Williams and Maroochy's Hayden Cotter making the cut. Ali Day and Matt Bevilacqua remain two of the favourites.
Yeah, it was really tough, We've lost a bit of the swell today and it was hard slog, so I think that's what we'll be looking at on Saturday.
And how's this for a result? Wanda's Ali Najem took out the men's 2-kilometre beach race. The 26-year-old has been fasting for Ramadan.
Felt bloody awesome. We pushed very hard from the start after watching the 19s with young Sam and our teammate Kai.
Luke McGarry, 7 News.
Wow, another day of incredible performances, and there's still 3 days to go. But for now, let's head live to Luke McGarry. He's at Maroochydore Beach. And Luke, you're joined by one of Lana's big rivals for Saturday's Ironwoman crown.
I certainly am, Nathan. I am with Northcliffe competitor Georgia Miller. And Georgia, both you and Lana have done your bit. You've qualified for Saturday's Ironwoman final. But yourself personally, how are you approaching the race? What have you been doing to prepare?
Yeah, look, Aussies is a massive 5 days of racing. So, yeah, as you said, managed to make my way into the final come Saturday. So, had some great events with BMD Northcliffe and managed to grab some gold. So, just looking to set myself up come Saturday.
I'm glad you mentioned Northcliffe because obviously Aussies is not just about the Ironwoman and the Ironman, it's also about the team events. Northcliffe has been doing really well. You've been in some of them. I mean, what is the secret to the success of this powerhouse club?
Look, I think it's definitely the depth that Northcliffe has. We have so many great competitors, both men and women, and across all age groups. So that definitely helps us out. And I mean, we have such a supportive club who's always there looking after us.
Well, thanks, Georgia, and good luck on Saturday in the Ironwoman. But, Nathan, some great news today. Sunshine Coast Council will vote later on this month, hopefully to bid for the Aussies every 3 years from 2023. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow with more Aussies action.
Oh, we'd love to have it here every 3 years. Thanks very much for that, Luke. And, of course, thank you, Georgia. Best of luck on your big race on Saturday. We'll switch to league now. And Sunshine Coast Falcons coach Sam Mawhinney could be playing a former New Zealand Warrior in Sunday's Anzac clash in Townsville.
The latest Falcons big man to go down is Campbell Duffy, who failed his HIA last weekend during the PNG loss.
It's a mandatory 11-day rest period, so, we're happy to follow those protocols. It's what's best for him and his welfare.
But Sam Bernstrom returns from personal commitments while the Falcons could unleash a former New Zealand Warrior against the Blackhawks on Sunday.
Bring Big Adam Tumumbabe Gerard in as well. We'll just see what we're thinking, but he's another big body, certainly aggressive and possibly a point of difference for us.
Townsville, who are looking to avoid 3 straight losses on Sunday, have their own injury concerns, but will receive Cowboys reinforcements.
I mean, that's probably a bit of a blessing in disguise that we're getting so many of those guys at the moment. And it's certainly testing our depth.
Meanwhile, former BOR Bulldog Annette Brander has been named in the Queensland Maroons 32-woman State of Origin squad. The Maroons hold the trophy after winning the clash at Sunshine Coast Stadium last year. A location for the June 25 match is yet to be announced. Luke McGarry, 7 News.
And the Sunshine Coast Lightning last night went down by 9 goals to the Queensland Firebirds in a trial. They do have one more pre-season game. That is this Saturday against the Queensland Suns men's side. Ruffy, how good have the Aussies been? You would have seen me there today in the background in the water. 30 degrees in late April. How good is it?
Stunning, mate, wasn't it? Thank you, Nath. And the good weather continues. Liv will have all the details in a moment. We're back after the break here on 7.
Academy Award winners Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman.
Hope is a dangerous thing.
The Shawshank Redemption, tonight on 7.
Ever since I retired from basketball, I've never been busier. You say bet? There's a lot you can do in a few seconds, even with just one hand. I never miss having a bet on Friday Night Footy. Sunday football, 10 legs, same game multi. Glory, glory to Sunday. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's the one. Good night, ladies.
It's shocking easy to bet anytime, anywhere with the PointsBet app.
We Australians are a resilient bunch. We've battled earth-moving storms, devastating cyclones, catastrophic floods, and fires so fierce the whole world took notice. Now as our weather becomes more extreme, we need homes as resilient as us. That's why Suncorp, with the CSIRO and James Cook University, have designed one house to save many. One house we can all learn from. See how it could help save yours. Building a more resilient Australia. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Macca's new Chicken McPieces. Tender 100% Aussie chicken breast in an irresistible coating. Plus Aussie favourite chicken salt shaker fries are finally here. Now that's too good to keep to yourself.
Let me guess. eBay Tuesdays?
Best day to save on heaps of things, like hair straighteners.
Wow, it's really straight. Look at that one.
You made quite an impression.
Colour curiosity. New mysteries are here, and there's one leading lady who'll crack them.
You have my attention, Miss Drake.
The brand new season. You've got it all figured out, Miss P.I. Not yet, but I will. New Frankie Drake Mysteries. Tonight on 7/2.
Good evening, folks. Livio Regano with tonight's weather. Today will likely be the last in a series of very pleasant days we've enjoyed since the weekend. Tomorrow's shifting winds will start bringing in heavier clouds and the air will get noticeably cooler. Showers are also possible, but most of us will have to wait until next week for that. Today's top temperature was 31 degrees at all Sunshine Coast weather stations. That's 5 above the April average. Minimum temps ranged from 13 in Gympie to 17 at Tewantin. Let's have a look at the satellite loop now. All the action's up north, as I'm sure you've probably heard. Hundreds of millimetres each day are falling up there, and that won't change anytime soon. There's an upper-level trough plus a surface system stuck there. For us, it's more of a clear situation so far, but the very system that's causing the northern rain is going to start to drift southwards over the next couple of days, bringing us probably cloud and cooler weather, but probably no rain at this stage. Today's chart, firstly, we've had an almost westerly wind today. It's almost a cool change ahead of schedule, but it obviously wasn't cool because at this time a westerly is still coming off the land, which is warm enough with the sun high enough in the sky to give us temperatures like 30 degrees. There's the inland trough at the moment. Now, tomorrow's chart, the westerly starts to turn around more of a southerly, and this trough that's producing the northern rain starts to descend further south, so we get more and more cloud with that southerly underrunning it, and that'll drop the temperature significantly. And then on the outlook chart, slowly the wind turns more south and eventually southeasterly. Still a bit cloudy, but probably no showers until next week. So now the latest from the Weather Bureau, the boating forecast for Sunshine Coast waters, light west to southwesterlies tomorrow, occasionally reaching 20 knots before swinging southeasterly during Friday and easing a little further on Saturday. The westerly breeze has cleaned up the swell on most of our beaches. Waves less than a metre high today, but a few rips around the changing tide. The morning low tide's getting later and later, and soon it won't be morning anymore. It's only a small tidal range due to the recent half moon, but slowly growing. The Southeast Coast District, a partly cloudy and a cooler day, but no rain just yet. Maroochydore 13 to only 26 degrees. Same for Gympie, that's 5 cooler than today. Nambour 25. And looking ahead for Maroochydore, random periods of cloudy weather expected until about Sunday, and it's going to be substantially cooler as well, but very little rain until next week. And that's a wrap, folks. Hope you're enjoying what the atmosphere is dishing out for you, whatever and wherever that may be. Let's meet again tomorrow and discuss. Until then, take it easy, stay mellow, and I'll see you soon. That's back to you, Rob.
Good on you, Lou. Thank you very much, mate. The breeze was nice today. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. From the team, take care. Good night.
Tonight in 7 News, justice for George Floyd, a killer cop guilty on all counts. Cheers and tears across the United States.
Health authorities investigating but unconcerned. A Queensland policeman develops blood clots after the Pfizer jab.
How could it happen again? Renewed calls for action after the murder of a young Gold Coast mum. Qantas celebrating a century with a new attraction at its Longreach Museum.
And no queues, no paperwork, no stress. The new service finding homes during the rental crisis.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharon Gadella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. Guilty on all 3 counts. The former US policeman who killed George Floyd is tonight a convicted murderer.
The deadly arrest prompted the Black Lives Matter movement and plunged America into weeks of protests and riots. It took the jury just 10 hours to hold a white officer accountable for a black man's death.
Guilty!
Minneapolis celebrates as the people win justice for George Floyd.
He got what he deserved, and I'm very happy.
Justice was served. That's how we feel right now. That's how all these people out here feel, man. They're just like, finally, finally.
We can't stop killing our babies.
This, the verdict American cities so feared some boarded up beforehand.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Derek Chauvin unflinching, the 12 jurors unanimous on all charges.
Yes.
The cop who pinned George Floyd is now a convicted murderer.
Say his name.
Relief too for the Floyd family.
Today, we are able to breathe again. We came for one thing and one thing only. Yes. That was justice for George Floyd. Yes. And today, that's what we got.
The defence had argued drug use and health issues could have caused Floyd's death. The jury had no reasonable doubt. It was 9 minutes 29 seconds under Chauvin's knee that killed him.
The war and the fight is not over. This can be a giant step forward in the march toward justice in America.
Earlier, the president had ditched convention and backed a guilty verdict while the jury was still deliberating. Afterwards, Joe Biden called the family
now there's some justice
and promised urgent reform to America's troubled policing system.
It's not all police, it's the certain ones.
On the street corner where George Floyd died, jubilation quickly burying fears. A not guilty verdict would have unleashed another wave of the violence last year in the days following Floyd's death.
I urge everyone to honour the legacy of George Floyd by doing so calmly, legally, and peacefully.
For Derek Chauvin, the 45-year-old cuffed, in custody and heading for a lengthy jail term. Can he survive jail?
He might not.
We were on the right side of history as we fought for justice for George Perry Floyd Jr. Say his name.
Some resolution in the George Floyd case, but countless other cases are unresolved. Not least the 20-year-old shot here this month when a police officer apparently thought they were using their taser.
Now we have to continue to move forward and go stand up for Dante Wright and everybody else out there. This is just the beginning.
There's still a lot of stuff that they need to improve, man.
When we get police reform, when things change, then the trust can begin.
Fears over links between the Pfizer vaccine and blood clots have eased after concerns were raised when a Queensland cop was hospitalised following his jab. An investigation will occur, but a separate medical condition is now thought to be the likely cause of his illness.
Working on the front line at hotel quarantine, Queensland police officers are afforded the protection of the Pfizer vaccine. One 40-year-old officer got his jab on Sunday and days later ended up in hospital.
Our medical authorities are determined to investigate any such incident.
Early reports sparked fears over a link to the vaccine, but it has since been revealed the officer recently had knee surgery at St Andrew's War Memorial Hospital, and his DVT clot is likely linked to the operation. He is now back on duty. Regardless, his case will be looked at.
looking to see whether it can help inform that vaccine rollout.
The AstraZeneca vaccine is now only advised for people aged over 50 after clotting was listed as a potential side effect. Alarming reports like the one today do nothing for the confidence surrounding the vaccines. Queensland health authorities continue to stress that both drugs are safe for people in the eligible categories. And around the country, access to those drugs is improving. Today, 3 mass vaccination centres opening in Victoria. The state's chief health officer lining up at Melbourne's Royal Exhibition Centre for his AstraZeneca jab.
I'm excited. I mean, I know it'll protect me.
But he had limited company. Business at the mass centre slow.
Well, it's pretty quiet. I thought there should have been a lot more lined up.
Perhaps the reason why Queensland is holding off on setting up similar hubs.
We are some time from needing that.
Until the rollout ramps up later this year. Joel Dry, 7 News.
A man accused of setting his estranged wife alight had spoken of stress towards family issues in a meeting with his lawyer just days earlier. The horrific crime bears a heartbreaking similarity to the murder of Hannah Clark, leaving many questioning what's changed.
Kelly Wilkinson on her wedding day, smiling as she married a man now accused of her murder.
Words can't describe it really, it's just so sad.
Kelly was a mum to 3 young children, a bright, energetic 27-year-old allegedly stolen from this world by a man she once loved.
It's just so sad to see that happen to such a beautiful lady, she really was. She just, she doted on the kids, she worshipped them.
Police say 34-year-old Brian Johnston set Kelly on fire in the backyard of her Arundel home and fled. He was found outside a nearby house with severe burns.
I've been told he was in a pretty bad way.
Overnight, he was charged with murder and breaching a domestic violence order.
She clearly was doing as much as she possibly could.
Johnston's defence lawyer says he spoke to the alleged killer on Sunday about other serious domestic violence matters, but there was no sign of the horror he'd be accused of just days later. A horrifically similar act of violence to that which killed Hannah Clark and her children just over a year ago.
I'd just like to say to Kelly's family, I'm so terribly sorry. This should never happen to any family, ever.
Sue is pleading for more education.
I think we need to educate people what domestic violence is, what coercive control is.
So it can be identified and stopped before it's too late.
And if you or someone you know is affected by domestic violence, DV Connect is available to help. Their number is 1800